They're literally on their way to death. They're on their way to death.
They have no idea.
They're on their way to die. They don't even know that death is coming to them.
And it's written.
They're literally on their own. They're going to death.
So there's an update in the car crash that left Anthony Joshua, the boxer, and his driver injured, and unfortunately claimed the lives of his two friends. The local authorities have announced that the driver is facing several charges, all related to reckless driving, and one charge that includes driving without a valid license.
And they ran into that vehicle, which was definitely because of the overspeeding. I didn't mean there were no overspeeding, probably that wouldn't have been that fatal.
After spending weeks staying quiet about what actually happened to Anthony Joshua and the people he was with, the Nigerian government has finally started releasing information about the crash. And honestly, the situation looks even more suspicious than anyone first assumed. It turns out that the rumors suggesting the crash was a deliberate attempt on Anthony's life might not be far-fetched after all. There's reportedly evidence backing that up. And here's the wild part. Just moments before the impact, Anthony switched from the front seat to the back seat. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get straight into it. The incident took place on December 29, 2025, along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Lexus SUV carrying Anthony and his friends slammed into a stationary truck that was parked on the roadside. Anthony walked away with only minor injuries and was pulled from the wreckage by nearby residents. Sadly, the same could not be said for his friends, Sinagami and Latif Idel. At first, most people believed this was simply a tragic accident. But once authorities began digging deeper, the investigation uncovered several shocking details that hadn't been made public before. The first red flag was the driver, known as Coyote, who was behind the wheel that day. Following the crash, he was charged with multiple crimes, including causing death through dangerous driving, reckless and negligent driving, driving without proper care and attention, and operating a vehicle without a valid license. Although he was granted bail, he was still kept in custody. This only fueled public suspicion, convincing many that something about the entire situation didn't sit right. And just when it seemed like the story couldn't get any darker, a huge twist was revealed by Anthony's driver's lawyer. According to the lawyer, Anthony changed seats from the front to the back shortly before the crash. Reportedly, he switched places with Latif, the same Latif whose head was fatally crushed during the impact. If there truly was a plan to take Anthony out, it completely fell apart because of that single seat change. Had that swap not happened, Anthony likely wouldn't be alive today. Looking at the wreckage, it's clear why people are saying this. The back of the vehicle was largely untouched, while the front end was completely destroyed. It's honestly shocking that the driver survived at all, because under normal circumstances, he would have been pronounced dead on the scene. The lawyer stated, and this is a direct quote, "My client has pleaded not guilty, and what occurred was an accident. I haven't had the opportunity to fully speak with him yet, but he maintains that the brakes failed. I also understand that the trip began in Lagos and that Anthony initially sat in the front seat. However, the driver asked him to change seats because Anthony is a large man and was blocking his view of the wing mirror. Anthony then moved to sit behind the driver. From what I've been told, Latif was originally in the front seat and later switched places with Anthony." Now, did you catch the part where the lawyer mentioned brake failure? A lot of people believe this crash wasn't accidental at all. Many are saying Anthony angered powerful figures when he went off script during his fight with Jake Paul. Some have even drawn comparisons to the death of Kobe Bryant, claiming his helicopter was also sabotaged, which ultimately caused the crash that killed him. And if you're wondering what Kobe could have done to make those same powerful people angry, reports say that just months before his death, he had successfully won a lawsuit against a major pharmaceutical company.
Anthony Joshua was not supposed to make it out of that car crash. That car crash was absolutely done to end his life. That was deliberately done. But when things like that are deliberately done, there have to be other people involved, other casualties involved to make it look like an accident. That wasn't no damn accident. Now, I personally don't feel like Jake Paul had anything to do with it because I feel like this whole thing is bigger than him. It's higher than him. You know what I'm saying? But of course, that's always a possibility. He could have something to do with it. That's possible. But I personally feel like it was the elites, specifically the elites that bet on that boxing match because Anthony Joshua was also not supposed to win that boxing match. Jake Paul was. Anthony Joshua is doing doing a lot of things that Anthony Joshua should not be doing. So there are attacks on his life right now because he is going against the grain. Anthony Joshua is not falling in line and listening the way he is supposed to. So they are trying to kill him. They being, y'all know. Another thing, I recently ended up on CIA Talk, don't know how, but I've been watching interviews of members of the CIA telling us the things that they can tell us, right? One of the interviews that I watched, this man, I kid y'all not, this man says that the CIA has the capability of hacking your car. They have the technology to hack your car and make you drive into a tree, make you drive off the road, make you drive into the ocean, make you drive into another car, make you unalive yourself. Sit with that.
And since we're already talking about Kobe Bryant, let me spill a little tea about the rumors claiming he and Anthony Joshua were allegedly connected to the same cult, because ever since the crash, those stories have been circulating nonstop. All of this really picked up after a podcast interview hosted by Bishop Larry Gators went viral. During the episode, he dropped some explosive claims about a so-called Hollywood cult known as Black Bull. According to him, the group supposedly includes a long list of black athletes, celebrities, and political figures. He even went as far as name-dropping alleged members, including LeBron James, whom he claimed replaced Kobe, along with Oprah Winfrey, Bill Cosby, Jesse Jackson, Alabama Sharpton, Barack Obama, and even Martin Luther King Jr.
The Boule Secret Society is a Black Skulls and Bones organization. Why was Kobe Bryant a target? Kobe Bryant, Luciferian Project, completed what I believe one of the greatest global cover-ups in history. But we have to see this for what it is concerning the assassination of Kobe Bryant. And one name keeps popping up. And it sounds like a Hollywood conspiracy movie, but the Boules are vicious. Now you got this counterfeit like LeBron James, who has that Boule logo tattooed on his chest. LeBron James has that Boule tattooed on his chest.
What's the tattoo?
Yeah, the Boule tattoo.
But this is where the story gets even more unhinged. People also started pulling up so-called receipts that supposedly link Anani to yet another Hollywood secret society, the Freemasons. This group is known for having the number 33 embedded into almost everything connected to them. And wouldn't you know it, Anthony also had the number 33 showing up repeatedly during his fight with Jake Paul. Members of the Freemasons are even known to wear rings with the number 33 engraved on them. Now check this out. 33 million people reportedly watched the fight on Netflix. Anthony was allegedly taxed 33 million. On top of that, the bout just so happened to be his 33rd professional fight. Some folks are calling all of this a coincidence, but plenty of others are definitely not buying that explanation. Now, circling back to the claims that Anani's car brakes were tampered with to intentionally cause the crash, the driver's family, especially his 19-year-old son, hinted that police may be using speeding as a cover story to hide the real cause of the accident. The son said his father had been working as Anani's personal driver for 3 years. And according to him, if speeding was truly the issue, Anthony wouldn't have kept his dad around for that long. And honestly, the kid kind of made some valid points. He said his dad isn't a reckless driver. He sticks to the speed limit. According to him, the brakes suddenly stopped working. His father was pressing the pedal, but nothing was happening. He tried to swerve to avoid the truck parked on the side of the road, but ended up crashing into it. The son emphasized again that his dad had been driving Anthony for 3 years and was experienced and reliable. He also added that when the trip first began in Lagos, Anthony was sitting in the front passenger seat, but his dad asked him to move to the back because he was blocking his view. There is a lot going on with this case, y'all. Something about this whole situation feels off, and it's clear that something shady may have contributed to the crash. Thankfully, Anthony survived, even though he appeared to be the intended target, but his friends still lost their lives. And that's something he'll likely carry guilt over for the rest of his life. One person said he went off script, and they were basically like, "What are you doing? You're not following the rules, so now you have to be taken out." Very much giving the Hunger Games vibes. Another person said, "I think this happened because he embarrassed Jake Paul. A lot of people had money riding on Anthony losing, but he didn't. He won. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the deadly accident Anthony survived? And do you really believe this was a planned hit on his life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click here to check out this other extremely messy video.